I think I have a different take on it, and that is I'm actually pretty impressed with the fact that we haven't been more partisan given the numbers, and the historical numbers, particularly in the Senate. You look at the Senate, and right now there's a Republican majority and a Democrat minority that has more than 1/3. In other words, they can block legislation, they can block appointments, they can block constitutional amendments. Well, Republicans didn't have a majority in the Texas Senate until 1997. And in 1997, there were enough Democrats to block bills. But in 1997, the Democrats had a majority in the House of Representatives, as they did in 1999 and in 2001. And it wasn't until 2003 where the Republicans had a majority in both the House and the Senate. And I would argue that, since 2003, we have seen more partisanship. And that might be a result of the political base of the Republican Party demanding more results based on those majorities. But in the Senate, it's hard to give those results when you have a 2/3 tradition. And I think, we've had our hiccups over the last 10 years, but frankly, we might have had a lot more. And I think that the Senate has been tested more in the last 10 years than ever, because if you look back historically, the Republicans only had 2 sessions in which they had enough as a minority where they had 1/3 to block bills. And that was in 1993 and 1995. And guess what? In 1993, the Democrats attempted to go down the regular order of business on something, and the Republicans broke quorum. And then 1995 was George Bush had just been elected, and it was pretty clear that the state was turning red. So I think we're, I'm kind of proud of our record for that. I think it could have been a lot more partisan. I also think constitutionally the design in Texas is very different from, people usually compare Texas to Washington, D.C., and I think when you think about the constitutional design of the Texas legislature versus Congress, there's some differences that really stand out to me. And I think that our constitutional design sort of has protections in place to prevent partisan gridlock. One of those is you need a 2/3 majority in both houses to have a quorum. In Congress and the U.S. Senate, it's only a majority. Constitutional amendments. Our Constitution has to be amended constantly. You don't see very many constitutional amendments in Congress, so they don't have a need for that supermajority of a 2/3 vote. And also the nominations process in the U.S. Senate. They recently changed their cloture rule, but if you look at the federal Constitution, they don't need a 2/3 vote to confirm nominees like we do in Texas. I think these are variables that really affect the Texas Senate. And what it does is it makes it really difficult to just shut out the minority party. Unless they have less than 11 votes, you're going to need them at some point. You're going to need them for constitutional amendments, and you're going to need them for the governor's appointments. And I think that has helped force consensus in the Senate, and it prevents partisan gridlock.